Welcome once again to Noir Alley. I'm your host, Eddie Muller. Today I've got a rare film to share with you. It's the first ever TCM broadcast of a 1951 drama entitled The Sound of Fury, reissued months later under a new name, Try and Get Me. And yes, there's a story behind United Artists' repackaging of this unsettling movie. It was made at the height of America's anti-communist hysteria by independent producer Robert Stillman. And although it received strong reviews, United Artists was wary of the film being branded a left-wing reaction to the McCarthyist movement. So the distributor tried to camouflage its provocative subject matter in the guise of a routine crime thriller, changing the title and in some markets highlighting leggy Adele Juergens on the poster art. But then it dropped the film flat, as if it never existed. The picture languished in obscurity for decades until being revived at noir festivals near the end of the 20th century, in a lone print from the personal collection of director Martin Scorsese. The Film Noir Foundation was finally able to complete a 35mm restoration of the film in 2011. Since then, Try and Get Me has found a new, if still marginal, audience. The film is based on a 1947 novel by Joe Pagano called The Condemned. Pagano was the son of Italian immigrants who'd previously published a couple of novels and spent years as a contract writer at RKO, eventually becoming a protege and drinking buddy of his literary idol, William Faulkner. The Condemned was an attempt at the kind of high-minded literature his mentor produced. It used shifting perspectives and stream-of-consciousness monologues to tell an updated version of a crime that happened in San Jose, California in 1933, the kidnapping and murder of Brooke Hart, son of a wealthy local merchant. But it was the aftermath of the crime that earned international notoriety. Don't worry, no spoilers. Pagano reworked the facts and shifted the story to the post-war era. Howard Tyler, played by Frank Lovejoy, is a World War II vet struggling to provide for his family in a shanty town on the outskirts of Los Angeles. As is typically the case in film noir, this poor sap ends up encountering the last person on Earth he should ever meet. In this case, a homme fatale named Jerry Slocum, a preening, hyper-confident hoodlum played with full-on psychopathic abandon by Lloyd Bridges. It's by far the scariest portrayal of his career. Producer Robert Stillman let Pagano adapt the screenplay himself, which led to some disagreements between the writer and director Cy Endfield. The book contained a lot of lecturing, mostly from an Italian physicist named Dr. Simone, who serves as a one-man Greek chorus lamenting the social problems at the root of all crime. Endfield did his best to pare the preaching, but Stillman, courageously giving the tenor of the times, kept the message-mongering intact, making sure it came through loud and clear. One of the messages concerns the media's responsibility to resist sensationalizing its presentation of the news, a message that to modern ears seems like a futile cry in the wilderness. Cyril Raker Endfield was coming into his own as a director in 1950, having just made the terrific thriller The Underworld Story, after years churning out Joe Palooka movies and clever B pictures like The Argyle Secrets. He'd been part of Orson Welles' Mercury Theater, brought on board after he'd dazzled Welles with card tricks. Yes, Endfield was also a world-class magician. His 1955 book, Cy Endfield's Entertaining Card Magic, is considered one of the seminal books on the art of close-up magic. The late Ricky Jay, world's greatest sleight-of-hand magician, was a protege of Endfield's. In fact, the 3 times I screened Try and Get Me in Los Angeles, Ricky Jay was always there in an aisle seat paying respect to his mentor. There was, however, no magic involved in the making of this film, just a lot of earnest commitment and hard work by the actors and crew. The stunning climax, arguably the most powerful in any American film noir, was shot on location in Phoenix, Arizona, as was much of the film. It used hundreds of local residents and college students from Arizona State University in bit parts and as extras. The finale is 10 minutes of excruciating tension you will never forget. In addition to the terrific lead performances by Frank Lovejoy and Lloyd Bridges, the film features Kathleen Ryan, Richard Carlson, Adele Jurgens, and Art Smith in vivid supporting roles. Especially notable are a pair of oddball characterizations. Renzo Cesana, fresh off playing a priest in Roberto Rossellini's classic Stromboli, provides the story's moral compass as Dr. Vito Simone. And stage actress Catherine Locke has the pivotal role of wallflower Hazel Weatherwax. It's one of the most unusual performances I've seen in a film from this era. I'll have more to say about both of them after the movie. Now, if you like watching film noir because it feels like comfort food in an increasingly screwed up world, well, there's only cold comfort today. Originally released in January 1951 as The Sound of Fury, only to briefly go nationwide months later under its new pulpier title, here is one of the most unrelentingly grim movies ever produced in Hollywood. Try and Get Me.